Alright, Coroneos 100 integrals challenge number 15. Really hard question for this question here. How do we integrate that? Okay, you've got a square root. If you try to differentiate the whole denominator, it's not going to work. Because the derivative is never going to be the top. And you can't use the algebra manipulation to change the numerator so you can have the denominator of the derivative of the denominator. So what we do here is we try, okay? We need to try to see if we can differentiate what's inside the square root. And let's see if we can use the reverse channel. And if we can't, we're probably thinking about inverse trigonometry, okay? So let's differentiate that. And the answer is minus 1 minus 2x. Now the question is, how do we change minus 1 minus 2x to x plus 1? Because that numerator is x plus 1. Okay? So we need to use the algebra to do it. So 1 plus x is equal to minus 1 minus 2x. So this is something we need to do, right? How do we make these two equal to each other? Right? First thing, I guess you just need to get rid of the minus, okay? Get rid of the negative minus. And then that's x here, here's 2. So how about I put a half to change that? So now, think about it. Half times by negative 1 is positive half. These two times together is plus x. So now, as you can see, when you compare these two, you just need to add half outside. All right, so this way, you can change 1 over x into this expression there. All right, so how about we change that expression? Because we know that 1 plus x is equal to minus half bracket minus 1 minus 2x plus half over square root of 1 minus x squared dx. Wow. All right, next we need to separate that into two fractions. Negative half minus 1 minus 2x over square root 1 minus x squared minus x plus half over the square root of 1 minus x squared dx. Alright, still a lot of things we need to do here. What do we do next? For the first fraction, as you can see, that becomes the reverse channel. So that's really easy to deal with, okay? I'm just going to, how about separate that into two integrals, all right? Slightly easier to do the calculation. So negative half integrate minus 1 minus 2x over square root 1 minus x squared dx. Let's remove that. And then plus half integrate 1 over square root of 1 minus x squared dx. So for the first fraction, that just becomes a reverse channel because when you differentiate what's inside the square root, it's the numerator here, okay? So I'd like to change that into different powers, right? So instead of like a fraction and the square root, I just want to change that into a negative power. To the power of negative half dx plus half. Right, how do we do the second part? The second part is inverse trigonometry. You need to complete the square inside this square root. All right, completing the square. All right, so the first step I would like to change order. Okay, so it'd be x squared plus x minus 1 dx. Okay. Let's integrate at least this part first. The derivative inside brackets here is equal to minus 1 minus 2x. So therefore, when you integrate this, we just need to plus the power by half or by 1, and that gives us half and times by 2 outside, because the reciprocal half is equal to 2. And then for this part, I need to complete the square here. That's 1. The coefficient in front of x is 1. 1 divided by 2 is half, but you need to square it again. That's a crazy question here. Alright, simplify what's in front. Here's minus 1 minus x squared to the power of half plus half, and we still need to work this one out. That's 1 over square root minus x plus half square. Let's do the calculation here. That's minus 1 over 4 minus 1, which is minus 5 over 4 dx. Wow. Okay. Alright, really hard. I don't think I will use this part of the board to do this question here. Alright, so continue. Minus 1 minus x squared to the power of half plus half. Okay, let's speed up this process here. Alright, so let's take this negative inside a bracket. I move the negative inside and change the order. It becomes 5 over 4 minus x plus half to the power of 2 dx. And this just becomes the inverse trigonometry integration. Okay? Alright. Now we can integrate this one. Hopefully you remember the formula. That's the inverse sine. So inverse sine x plus half over, what's the square root of that number here? That would be square root of 5 over 2 plus c. Now, of course, you can rearrange these to change that. So you can take the 2 out right to the top. So that gives you minus plus half sine inverse. Now you can take this 2 to the top. That gives you 2x plus 1 over square root of 5 plus c. And that gives you the final answer for this question here. It's a crazy question. It's a really hard question because firstly you need to think about what's the derivative inside the square roots, and then you need to use the algebra manipulation to change this term into this format. Then you need to separate that into 2 fractions. First one is the reverse chain rule. The second one is inverse trigonometry integration. A really hard question, but very interesting. All right, thank you.